My name is Anne, and this is Toby. And Toby is pretty tired. Are you tired, boy, Tom? He says, yes, Mommy, I'm tired. Put me down in my bed. Mwah. There you go, baby. Toby and I and my husband were camping on the weekend. We went to the KOA in the Thousand Islands, the Ivy Lee one, and it was really nice and really enjoyable. The weather was really nice. Well, I shouldn't say that. The day we left to go, it bucketed down, and naturally we missed our turn off, and we were nearly halfway to Kingston before we realized we'd gone too far. So we had to turn around, which is always an epic adventure when you're towing a trailer. So we managed and we got back, but of course every time we went through again it was raining so hard you could barely see. So I'm blaming that on the fact we missed the turn off. Nothing to do with me, nothing to do with my navigation or Siri's little GPS thing, the fact that I put the wrong address in. It's got nothing to do with that. It was the rain. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But we had a great time. We went with some friends, Tanya and Mark, and and they have a dog, a golden doodle, so their dog Honey played with Toby, so he had a great time. And now there was one little episode that I'll tell you later. But anyway, let's get on to who I am and what's going on here. So I am Anne. I am living the crafty life as I am now retired. I love to knit. I love to sew. I love to read, cook, stamp. I'm pretty big into scrapbooking right now. I used to do a lot of card making. But knitting is my thing right now. And so I thought I'd share my knitting with you. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Drop me a nice comment, love some love notes, and subscribe. And I think there's a little bell thing in the corner. If you click that, then you'll get notification when I have a new video up. I try to do them every 2 weeks. I'm a little bit behind this time just because of all the camping we've been doing. I haven't quite figured out how to do it in the trailer yet. I'm working on it, but they don't always have Wi-Fi, so it's kind of, you know, actually I don't need Wi-Fi when I'm doing a video. I do for the upload. I do when I upload. But anyway, yes. So anyway, you can you will find this happens a lot if you're new to the channel. I do lose my train of thought quite often. So you can find me on Ravelry as Brithockeymum, because yes, I am British. Been here a long time now though. And on Instagram I am TobyKnits. On Facebook I have a TobyKnits Facebook page where I do sell and show my bags that I make, little project bags for knitting. And I think my email address is somewhere in the info if anybody wants to contact me for that. But there you go. So we will be talking about knitting today and what I have been up to. I don't have notes. I usually write notes out, but I thought I'd wing it today. And so typically we start off with finished objects, and I have a few little finished objects to show you. And a hoe, which is not what you think. No, it's a half finished object, and a new cast on, and some what you got in, which is some new things I purchased. So let's get on with it. So let's start with my finished object, and that is these gorgeous, gorgeous socks. Aren't they lovely? This yarn is from Timber Yarns, which is a Canadian company. Gotta stick with Canadians. And it's called the Humble Badger. And Heather is the lady behind. Heather and her husband are the people behind Timber Yarns. And she sent me this yarn to try, and I love it. It was a dream to work with, and I'll tell you why. Because when you, because it's a self-striping yarn, what I try to do is I do my cuff, the normal, 2-inch cuff, whatever, knit 2, purl 2, and then I start my color, and I try to see the way the colors go to find out where to do 2 complete things of color. I don't know what to call it. 2 complete okay, come on, you all know what I'm talking about, right? Patterns of color. And then I started on my heel flap and heel turn, and then the gusset, and then I worked down until it was long enough for my foot before I did the umbrella toe. Now, the nice thing about when you do the second one is this comes in 2 50-gram balls. Well, not balls, skeins. So I, wound them up into balls. But it's called the twin sock, for the reason that it's easier for you to then find the same start, and you can match it up. So here's where it gets really easy when you're doing the second sock, because you can follow your colors. So when you realize you've got to the end of the black, that's when I started my heel flap, because I didn't have to count or measure. I just went by my colors. I'm very visual anyway, so this really helps me. And it was just so much easier. Again, I did the same amount of the toe down to where the toe would start to, I don't know if you can see that, where the toe would start to need to be decreased, and then that's how I knew to decrease for my toe. So I really liked this. I love these colors. They are obviously from her Harry Potter line, and this is not Ravenclaw, what's the other one? Hufflepuff, which is for my daughter-in-law for Christmas. So hope she's not looking. She better not, she doesn't usually. So these are hers for Christmas. I'm very pleased with them. They turned out great, and thank you so much, Heather. And please, people, check out her website. She's awesome, an awesome dyer, so check her out. And so the other thing that, the other thing I did, as you know, I've been making little socks for Advent for myself as a memory of my socks for this year, because this is the year of the sock, and for my son and his wife, and I made a little one. So we've got the big one and the little one. Look how cute it turned out. And this actually, I just have to put my little thingy on it, but I love how it turned out. So of course this one will be for me, and I'll be making another one for her. And talking of all my little ones, look how many I've made. There's those 2, and then there's these 2, and then there's these 2. Do you remember these socks? They were like half and half. They're little mini socks, and you wore them just like this with 2 different colors, 2 different style socks. I love these. So these are cute. And then I just did my little holiday. Remember the holiday ones I got from Vancouver? So, actually, no, where was I? Calgary. But on our trip to Vancouver. And so I still have to do another one of those. But, these turned out so cute. I love them. Anyway, those are super sweet. And then my hoe, again, not what you're thinking. This is the Argyle sock that I was working on. Remember that? Where it was all flat, and then you had to join it together for the heel flap, and then you just knitted the base, and then you joined together again for the toe. Well, this is how it has turned out. I've got it on a sock blocker, but I haven't blocked it yet, which I'm hoping the seam here will even out, where you had to sew it there and you had to sew it there down the back. So I'm hoping that that will even out, but they turned out really nice, I think. Weird way to knit a pair of socks. I'm not really sure I'd want to, I'm really having second sock syndrome, which if you don't know what that is, you make a sock and you love it so much, and then you don't want to make the second one, and you move on to another project. So I don't typically have second sock syndrome normally. I love making my second sock so that their project is finished, but this one was such a hard project for me to do. It's going to be really something to make me want to cast on the other one, and of course it's supposed to be my husband's Christmas gift, so I guess I'll have to suck it up at some point and do it. But there you go. So this is how this one turned out. So not too shabby. I really like the way it came out, and it's and the wool, of course I did it on my 2.25 Chowgos and magic loop method. Actually, no, you didn't do magic loop on it. You had to do it, I used my magic loop, but you had to go back and forth for a while. It's only when you join them together that you did the magic loop thing. But I use the Bear Street yarns, and I have no idea what the colors are because I can't remember, and I don't know where I've done with the tags. So, but it was Bear Street yarns, and who are here in Merrickville. So love their stuff, love their stuff. So those are my half-finished objects. Did I do any more of my sweater? No, I didn't do any more of my sweater. It's too hot to do sweaters right now. Or the blanket, I haven't done any more of that. So I had to cast on something new. I have actually been kind of obsessed with those little socks. So in my TobyKnits little sock bag, I have got a new cast on using this yarn, which is, this is 50 grams, but I haven't used this one yet. I have started this one, and this is, if I can get it out, I'm not really quite sure yet about this whole pattern. You know when you first start a pattern and it's like it's a 8 or 12 pattern row, I'm really not sure if I'm doing it right. So this is the front, and it's got, and actually this is really interesting, it's got cables, but you don't use a cable needle. I've never done that before. It's different. So I'm not quite sure if I can see I'm only halfway through the charted pattern, so I'm not sure. And then the back has this other little pattern on it. So yeah, I'm still wafting my way through it. It is a pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and it was part of her Swish and Flick collection. And this is what it looks like when it's done. So again, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I hope I am. It's really hard right now to see the way it's going, but so it is another view of the sock front. It will be available to purchase separately, I believe, at the end of the year, when she's released all the patterns in the collection, but it is called Whispers in the Wall. So I'm still battling my way through. It's hard to see yet what's going on, so I'm hoping that a few more rows of that will give us some definition of what that looks like. But that's what I have just started working on, and between that and my pattern, now I do have a new cast on I'm dying to start, because this yarn came day before yesterday, Friday, Thursday, just before I went away, and it is this. How pretty is this yarn? And it is actually by Knit Crate. When you're a Knit Crate member, you can they give you points, and so you can collect your points to buy yarn with and get it cheaper. So that's what I did with this. And this is called Titmouse, and it's 75% merino wool, 15% silk, 10% cashmere, and it's a fingering weight. But I just love these colors. Aren't they nice? And this is going to be a hat for my dad. And let me see if I can find the pattern, even though it's on a woman's head. This is what it will look like. It's just a really nice hat, and the hat is called Birdseed. So I am going to be casting that on maybe tonight because I really like that. Now, talking about Knit Crate, I actually did get my, well, here's another story for you. So I usually get the sock Knit Crate, and they did this change with Knit Crate last month where you could pick, they came out with 3 colors, and they're like natural, I forget what they're actually called. Maybe it'll tell me in here if they have. No, it won't be this one, it'll be in this one. 1 minute, please, while I find the book, which isn't in there because I've moved it somewhere else. Who knows? Anyway, so we'll just get on with it. So I ordered the natural, and when it came and I opened it, it wasn't sock yarn. And I thought, oh, did they do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Why didn't I have my sock yarn? But look what I got. Not 1, but 2 of these lush, beautiful blue. And this is a worsted weight yarn, 40% superwash merino, 30% silk, 30% alpaca. It's a worsted weight, and it's called, yeah, I actually don't know how to say this word. Can you read? Is it coming through without being pachyderm? Anyway, but it is going to be to make a pair of fingerless gloves. I think that would be so nice, don't you? And as a little gifty gift, look, it's a little elephant. Isn't that the cutest? A little marker elephant. I just thought that was cute, and it's from Mermaid City Yarn. Never Enough Whimsy. Where are they? Doesn't say. But anyway, so I'm excited to have something that's actually not socks, or out of sock yarn. So this will be interesting to see how it makes up. So that is my Knit Crate. That was my other stuff. I think that's all I have to tell you about. Oh no. Let me tell you what happened while I was camping. So we went over to Tanya and Mark's, and we sat around their campfire, and we played some games, board games, and we had a few drinks, and then we came back to our trailer, and we came in, and I said to Bob, oh, I'm not really that tired just yet. It was at 10:30, mind you, but I thought I'd just sit here and check out my Facebook, or, you know, go on the computer, go on the laptop. So we're sitting there, and Bob has his phone, and he's just looking on his phone. And my husband has a tendency to watch all them silly videos where people are doing daft things, and they're screaming at the top of their heads, or they're giggling, or it's animals or something. And so all of a sudden we're sitting there, and I said, Bob, I'm a bit chilly. And he said, yeah, me too, because it was starting to get cooler in the evenings now. He said, I'll just put the furnace on, because yeah, we have air conditioning and a furnace in our trailer. So he gets up and he turns the furnace on. So it's starting to warm up the trailer, and it's lovely, and all of a sudden I hear this cat meowing, and I'm like, what is that? And I look at Bob and I say, is that you? Are you watching a video? And he said, no. And the cat meows again, louder, and I'm like, it sounds like it's in here. And he's, yeah, I know. Then I hear scratching, and I'm like, oh my God, it's in the furnace. The cat has got in our furnace somehow. And so I bolt up and I grab my dog, I grab Toby, and I said, oh Jesus, I'm not going to be in here if there's a cat stuck in here. I'm out. So I open the door and I come outside, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, and Bob says, oh, I don't know. So he gets up and gets a flashlight, and he comes out and he's looking underneath the trailer and he can't see it. And I'm looking above, and I said, turn off the furnace, turn off the furnace. If it's in there, it's burning. So he turns off the furnace, and we're standing there, and I see Tanya walking to the shower. She's going to have her shower because they have a tent trailer, so they don't have a shower. So I shout over to her and I said, Tanya, go get Mark. I need his help. Because I'm thinking, if we have to start opening up the furnace thing, we don't have tools. So she said, yeah, I'll go and grab him in a minute. So I said, okay. So I'm standing there, I'm thinking, we can't wait a minute. It could be burning. So there's a guy in the next trail, and they're all out sitting around having a campfire. So I go over to them and I say, could you come and help us? Because I think there's a cat stuck in our trail and we can't find it, but we can hear it crying. So the guy gets up and he comes over, and then a bunch of them all come over. They all come over because it's, hey, something's going on now, right? So they all come over, and I'm outside holding my dog, and Bob is in there with a flashlight. So they take off the grill because this guy had tools, yay. So he takes the grill off of the furnace, and he says, I don't think a cat can be in here. It's too tight. And this guy goes around the back of the trailer, and he comes back and he says, it can't get in the back part of your furnace because there's no way it can get in. So we're like, well, is it in the cupboard somewhere? Did it get in when the door was open and stuck? So we have storage under our dinette. So he starts taking all the cushions off, and we're looking under the dinette, and there's no cat there. And we're like, okay. So he says, maybe, is it underneath? Is it got stuck? So they're all looking underneath the furnace and underneath the trailer, and it's not underneath the trailer. And we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where it is. So anyway, the guy says, well, I've looked everywhere. I can't see the cat. We can't hear it anymore now. So we're like, okay, thanks. So off he goes. So we go back in, and I'm like, I don't think I can go to bed right now. I'm too wound up because every time I heard a noise, I was like, what's that? What's that? So we sat up for another hour. So by now it's nearly gone midnight. So I'm like to Bob, I haven't heard it anymore. Bob said, oh, I think it was under the trailer. I think it was trying to stretch to get in. I don't think it was in the trailer. I think we're good. We should go to bed. So we decided to go to bed. And that's fine. And we fall asleep, and that's lovely. And in the morning, we're sitting having a cup of tea outside. And Tanya and Mark come by. They've just been to the bathrooms, and they come by. And she says, how'd you get on? Did you find the cat? I'm like, no. I think it must have been outside. And she starts to giggle. And I look at her. I said, it was you, wasn't it? And she said, yes. She was on her way to the bathroom, and she stopped by, and she was meowing outside of our window, and she was scratching on the screen door, on the screen for the window. And she said she went off, and then she said when she got back, she told Mark what she'd done. Mark said, oh, better go tell her, because they'd be all worried about this cat. So she said she came back to tell me, and half the neighborhood was in my trailer ripping it apart. So she didn't want to fess up because she did. Anyway, so thanks, Tanya, very much for that. But as my husband said, payback's a bitch. Oh my God, it was funny. We laughed and laughed and laughed afterwards. Honest to God, it was so funny. It really was. When I think about it, I can't imagine how she must have felt when she came back and saw all these people pulling apart my trailer. Anyway, it was fun. We had a great camping trip. It was a lot of fun, and we're doing it again. Oh, so yeah, so that was how much fun it was. And I think that's all I have to tell you. There's not much else to tell you now. I am going to cast on some new stuff, so hopefully I'll have some things to show you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I say, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends who like knitting and a laugh, and I hope to see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye for now. Bye.